Hi, my name is Sally Bernard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery, and with the help of my spirit guides, it's time to trust your intuition. Sit with me and call in live 888-994-4995 Studio A. And now onto the show. Three of my favorite people. Yeah, and you too. Four of my favorite people.
The wall. All right, you're on.
Oh, I didn't realize. Well, you now know who my favorite people are. Okay, they're all sitting in the studio with me. That was meant to happen. That was synchronicity, a moment of truth. Okay, well, welcome to my show. I'm really happy to hear from anybody that's listening, especially anybody that actually purchased my book on. They're listening because I told them to tune in today on Saturday, who were at the Wellington Mall. Give me a call. If there's anything in that book that you saw that you might have a question for me, call in. I did speak about it to a lot of people. So here, on with this show. We have, I think it's on vibrational energy, right?
It's on vibrational energy, and the studio is just a little bit, I can't say chaotic. It's on
off the energy a little.
It's on a test mode of me today. Yeah. What is going on?
Well, that's okay. I'm open to questions, and maybe they'll give us an answer.
Why am I being so tested today?
Your tolerance level? Just was the first thing that came to me. I don't know, but that's what they're telling me. They're testing your tolerance level.
Why, my friends? Why?
Because it's good for you. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. They're on your side, Dawn. I have to let you know that. They'll never leave you. But they're just seeing what they're actually, you know what they're doing? They're telling me to make this a little bit more serious, because they're saying be more serious. They're seeing that you need to know what you're absolutely capable of doing, because there is nothing that you can't do, Dawn. You get overloaded a lot of the times, but that's okay, because they're trying to filter out some of the things. They know you're capable of doing it all, whatever your task you're handled, but we need to pace it a little bit. So they're testing you with each little level. Seriously, there is no way that they're not talking to me. And they're seeing how your tolerance level is on each level of their testing, if that makes sense to you.
Yes, they've been doing this all day, and I know they're testing
they've been doing it for a little while, actually. You're more aware of it today, okay? You're more aware of it. But it's all good, and it's all, we have to move forward in our learning a little bit. And also, as we do that, I say them, actually in some ways we're testing ourselves too, which you all know that here. Everybody I know can tune into me here a little bit. So whilst I say it's them, it can be our own higher self doing that, because we have a higher self that actually guides us, that is in contact with everybody on the other, on that level of vibrational energy, not necessarily the other side, because we meet people here too. So we need to know our tolerance level, and that's very, very important too. So I know I test myself many times. It's me, and I'm going, why? But then I should know better. So this program is also to answer my questions too, this show right now. So let's go forward with something on that particular energy.
So I'm thinking energetically, self-fulfilling prophecy. Am I causing this, creating it, or
I'm going to say
just to get through this?
You are causing it, because they wouldn't give you more than, that expression, you're not going to get more than you can handle, and that's very relevant to the question, to answer the question now. You're not going to get more than you can handle. You may not even be aware of how much you can handle, but you can. But you need to, hey guys, can you calm it down a little bit for Dawn, please? Just a little bit, please? Okay, they will. They're listening to me. Good example just now of the music next door. We were hearing it really loud. I said, please help me, because I really didn't want to necessarily go in and make vibrational energy a little bit more erratic here. But we did it anyway. It's not, I'm going to say, because if it comes on again, well, maybe it was meant to. But right now we're quiet. So this works.
It works.
Absolutely, it
And
works.
I mean, the crew has been absolutely beyond incredible today.
Each
Totally,
one of you
totally.
guys, and working on my advertising too, and I want to say it public, you guys are doing an amazing job. You really are. And I feel very connected because I'm not out of the loop with what you're doing. I don't understand the marketing. I mean, I understand what I need to know. But you guys, every one of you, thank you. I really do appreciate it, yeah. And you, Dawn, goes without saying.
Let's talk about vibrational energy then.
Okay.
We were on the cafe and someone came in, as they always do, not knowing how they ended up, where they ended up, sign on the door. How does vibrational energy work?
Well, that's a very good example, and I had a very good example the other day at the book showing at the Wellington Mall. We draw people to us. We literally do bring them in. And if you're on a higher, that's why I always talk about a higher vibrational energy. Do I do it all the time? No, I do not. But I'm very, very aware of it. So if you feel that you're having what we call a bad day, and I can say this a million times because it is for everybody to hear, change that. And when you change that energy, all sorts of amazing things happen. People come into the studio because this is really a great place for that, and to turn people around a little bit. That draws them in, so they're going to get what they need here. So important. But just as easy as it comes, it can go by negativity. Again, some negativity isn't bad because we need to have that balance. So when we see the negativity and then we can change that around, we're aware of it more. We'll say, well, just now, I mean, it's not negative, the music. I love music. But for my show, it's really not the great thing because I've got to talk over that. So I had the negativity, but we were able to stop that. So that goes with anything that's happening in life. So it brings people in, Dawn. It brings, and you are always basically on a higher vibrational energy here. So we see more at that level. So the people that are outside of here, they're getting drawn to that level of vibration. So they could just be passing in a car. They're going, something's drawing me to this studio here. And they have, and they've walked in right from outside. So that gives you an idea how it works. It's going to happen here all the time.
And you met somebody over the weekend as well.
Yeah, I did. I had a book showing in the Wellington Mall. And I mean, yes, I had a poster saying that this is what I do, but not too many people there walking around read posters or come to your booth necessarily. But I was sitting there and I said to myself, okay, I wonder who's going to show up. It wasn't even so much about selling my books, but it was about who was I going to meet there in a busy place, and they get all sorts of people. Well, the first person that came up to me and said hello, she was from England, and I said, where did you live in London? Round the corner from me. Absolutely, within 10 minutes. So I knew what I was doing was working. Out of all the people there, I should get someone that was my neighbor many years ago. The second person also lived right where my daughter went to school in London.
Wow.
So but there were many more things, but the most amazing one was one lady that came up to me and she sensed my vibrational energy without going into the details of it because it was really for me. But she knew what was going on. The crazy part about this is I was following her everywhere. Where she was walking, I was feeling her. I was feeling her presence. And I mean, I'm not making this up because Steve was sitting right next to me. And I said, that lady looks like someone which I had told you about, the other lady that I met, I hadn't seen in many years. I met her a month ago after 10 years of not seeing her. She lives in Miami. And I said to Steve, she reminds me of the lady that I just had lunch with who came up from Miami to see me here. She looked like her. She was wearing a hat, which my friend also wears hats. So I was following this lady's energy everywhere. And I said, she is going to come to my booth. And if she's listening, and she may be, I said, I know she's going to come to the booth. Well, sure enough, she came over to my booth. And the most amazing part about this is not only did she know the studio here, she knew my friend who lives in Miami. And she looked like her. How does that happen? She said, oh, I know. I'm not bringing names up just in case, you know. But she says, of course I know her. And I said, really? I mean, I was surprised. I said, is it the same lady we're talking about? She says, absolutely. She says, I haven't seen her in years. So I said, oh my gosh, I only saw her after years, what do you know, when I went to the train station. So she said, please tell her hello from me. And I said, we're all going to have lunch. Of course I'll tell her. And I thought she looked very much like her. And that's what probably took me around where she was walking. Well, she then proceeded to tell me something that nobody, she is an intuitive energy. She heals a lot. And I know I'm not mentioning her name, but just to let you know that she's English and she had worked on Margaret Thatcher. I'm sure she won't mind me saying that. So I knew some people can say they can do it, but you know, when they mentioned something, she wasn't like a name dropper, but just so that I could warm up a little bit, which I did to her. She told me the most amazing thing about energy. It was unbelievable. I won't bring the whole thing up, but she told me what I really needed to hear, and it wasn't a psychic message, it was to do with energy, and she was so right on with it. It was incredible. So sometimes I need the validation too, and I got it. I got it so much. It was incredible.
And these ladies and so many of our crew members, they're always on a positive vibration. And they're laughing and they're working hard and they're having a good time, but they're working and doing it, and it totally changes it for me to know that I've got all of them in support.
Of course.
Everyone from G-Man, Heather, every single person that's here, Abdullah running board, to see this incredible crew that 9 years ago, we didn't have any of this.
It just going back to the story with energy, how this works. It does work as long as you believe it. I've wanted to, and I mean, I'll say this publicly, wanted to have research on me because one day I was one person 18, 19 years ago, and my book is about this, so this is all if you want to read it. I changed overnight. I was in hospital one night, and I write that totally different person. Well, I've never had research on me. I know that something happened to me. This lady that I'm talking about starts to tell me how that she found out because she had research on her. And I said, really? I've been looking for years for someone to do this research on my brain. And she tells me exactly what I want done to me, whereas something to do with your frontal lobe and it lights up. So she's telling me about brain tapping. I never told her my story. And she's telling me exactly. So the good news, too, is that she's given me the name of someone that I need to call who just does exactly what I wanted. And I've looked for years to find somebody. Even if he doesn't do it, he'll know the people to send me to. Mm-hmm. So I brought that up because it's important. You know, a lot of people I know I'm not imagining. Too much has happened, but it's still nice to have the validation that something happened to me because I know it did.
Do you ladies work on vibrational energy?
I do not. I was actually going to ask, is there anything we can do to like grow or increase your vibrational energy?
I have to tell you that you absolutely have got 100% a head start on this. You just haven't opened up completely to it.
Really? Because
I
I was
you're
listening
going.
to you
You're
talk.
going to the rainforest.
And I was like, I don't know if I carry that vibrational. Like, how do I know if I carry that?
Each one of you here has that. It's not accidental that we're talking, and I know you may be a little bit more understanding, but you understand, and it's definitely you. And I know Dawn, you have it. You're in the right place to see that, to open up. Do you feel that, guys, that she has?
Oh,
you
yeah,
have it.
definitely.
100%. Cool. Everything, even what you're doing on my site, I just feel it. I trust each one of you. You don't have to even run it by me. Obviously you will, but you don't have to. That's how much I trust the energy here. It's energy flow.
Yeah, it feels like intuition almost.
It is intuition.
Like you can't put like a concrete, like, this is why I feel it. Sometimes you just do.
You just do it.
Yeah.
You just do it. Because it's coming to you through your intuition, which is also, we can say, is imagination too. Because you're going to imagine, and what you imagine can happen. And that's what you guys are doing anyway. You're doing it. Not just on my advertising. You're doing it wherever you're putting your energy. It's all to do with energy. It's a great topic, actually.
You know, what they put out, and I know today was a full test, and I knew I was going into this week fully tested, and every button, every computer, everything, and I can talk to them in my head saying, all right, here's another test. We're going to
Well, the
get through this.
lights weren't working, right? When you first walked over there, when I first greeted you.
The cameras, that computer, this monitor. 3 cameras were out, every wire. G-Man was working it. It was a simple fix, but it's been a lot of simple fixes today. Luckily, they're all simple fixes, and we got through it. And everything I know, and I said to you, here we go, here's another test. And I know it's to show me that I can do more
It's a
than
validation.
I think I can. But I know I
Yeah.
can do it all. I've also become, you want other people to do what they do.
Well,
It's
you
all
need
about
to.
me, but I know
this
that.
is coming through very strong. You need to delegate some of your tasks because the people around you, I'm not going to say maybe everybody because I don't know who's walking in here, but the people that are here, especially here in this room, are more than capable. If you
Yes.
delegate a task to them, I absolutely assure you they will do it, and they will do it right, and they'll do it from a good energy.
So these two are planning an event in October. What do the angels and guides tell you about this event coming forward?
We have a call today at 4, so.
It's going to go great. Okay, that's all I need to say because it will. Okay, it's going to go great for each one of you. Hi there, Hoodie.
So yes, they're planning another fundraiser for the foundation, and they're really gung-ho about this. And I'm excited that you're so gung-ho because I'm still regrouping from the one from May, which I was regrouping from the
What date in
one.
October?
To be determined, but it will be.
Because my birthday's the 11th.
Oh, we might have to get you a birthday cake.
I don't know what
Might have
date.
to
I
celebrate.
don't even
Yeah.
know what day it is.
Double
but for some reason, I
celebration.
had to say that. I don't know what because 11 actually is a very, for me and
Oh,
for
do
a
you
lot
have
of
the
people, is a very
documents?
good
What
number.
dates are
Anyway,
available?
11 is a good.
No, and I know as of the last time we were there, more days have been taken.
Yeah, we
So
have to
it's
ask you.
changed.
The
because-
reason I'm saying
yeah.
it because even on my, on my email is 1111, and I am hearing that with Yuri Geller, who I absolutely do know. He's on Facebook. Unfortunately, with everything that's happening, he's in Israel right now, but he keeps referring to the numbers 1111. So, and this was public. I haven't spoken to him in a very long time, but unfortunately, they had to go down to They were out for dinner, and they had to go into a garage below them. And he was standing on the numbers 11 as he went down there. He says, it will be okay. So I keep reminding myself that 1111 is very important. It's an energy number, so it's
Right.
not off the topic here. So if you can make it on the 11th, you guys are going to have a
So you
ball.
think it's good? We're good to go.
And I have a great time. Absolutely, you need, with everything that you're doing from here on in, as long as you raise that energy, whatever you're doing, be it what you're doing, being what you planned, even a vacation, it won't go wrong. But the real reason of talking about this is that you have to believe it, because you can say, oh, it's going to be all right. I just saw the numbers 1111 and that person, it's okay, it's okay. You truly got to believe it with your heart and it won't go wrong. So yes, your phone call will be great. Yes, whatever you're working on is going to be fantastic.
And what's so great about these girls is even if I have a doubt of something in my head or I'm preoccupied, this one looks at me and says, so you don't want to do it now? Okay, we're going to do it now. So you don't want to give me an answer when you want to have this phone call? Okay, I'll give you an answer. But I so appreciate that.
Thank you.
Because if you actually gave in to me saying no because the sky was falling, nothing would get done. Because the sky, it's not always falling, it's always a test.
And
But
to be
you-
honest, I'm sorry. I feel like us, and at least on our marketing and outreach end, we've established a really good flow. And Layla and I were talking about this the other day of getting
Yeah.
things done. Who's doing what? Who's going out and doing outreach? Who's doing the social media posts for Sally? Who's doing the cafe? Who's doing AMP? I feel like we've organized ourselves very well.
We
And
were
all
just
work
having
well.
that conversation because each one of you together, you all have a part in whatever, not just my
Yeah,
advertising,
we were.
whatever you're doing, you each have a specific,
Yeah.
a place where you need to be to do that,
Yeah.
in your head, that you're good at it. But it all forms a great big circle,
Yeah.
in other words. So you're all part of that circle.
I was talking to someone today talking about when you take in, as empaths, we take in energies that don't always serve us.
Yes, we do.
Because
yeah.
whether we don't protect ourselves when we walk into a room or we don't cleanse it out properly,
Exactly,
we take in
Dawn.
things that are not ours to take in. Is there a way to raise the vibrational energy
Yes,
so
there is.
we don't do
Absolute-
that?
That was a lot of my problem standing, not, that particular day, but I'm getting a lot of energies that I don't like being thrown at me. For a lady to pick that up and told me and explained within 2 minutes of talking to me what was going on was absolutely good vibrational energy is what I needed, and I knew that, but that was validation. So whatever it is, I don't care who you are, you're going to have somebody that may not like you or may not like what you're doing. So we need to be aware of that. Mine is coming very strong to me. I have a few things going on that she said to me, "You got to stop this," and she gave me what I needed to do. But we all have it to a certain degree. As long as you can pull it's a test. It really is a test. Just lift that vibrational energy. It's the same as having a bad day. Say I'm having a good day, and it will change. It's not an unusual occurrence for anybody, really. You're not going to get everybody to like you, no matter what you do. But when it comes really strong, then it's time to, which I often say, I'm not just saying it for myself, but it's time to finish that situation, whatever it is. Dismiss yourself from a room, stop thinking about that person, whatever it is, place or thing. So getting back to the topic of energy, it all falls into the energy that's coming to you, especially when you're in airports, especially when you're in crowds. You know, if you're an empath, which I am too, it can physically harm you. It really can. This lady was crying when she was talking to me because whatever energy was directed to me at that point, she was picking up. Within 2 minutes, she's crying. I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "It's something to do with you." And I said, "Me?" But she explained that.
But did she explain how to clear that?
She gave me some. She actually went over. She said, "Do you have a bottle of water with you?" I said, "Yes." She was carrying it. She said, "I'm putting some drops in this and it'll take away the bad energy."
Wow.
She absolutely, and I also had a pain in my back at that point. She went like that. It hasn't come back.
That's amazing.
So
you're going to bring her into the studio?
Yeah, she's coming here. Oh, yeah, she'll definitely show up. Yes, she's already emailed me. And the other lady, too. They'll be here. They both had knew you or had met you. So
We've been doing this a long time.
And you know how many people were in that mall?
Full circle.
And how many... I had a little tiny booth there.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, but the vibrational energy, the ideas that we can put out and the things that we do and the new crew members that come in to work with you and work with other people, this one's always got an angel on his shoulder. He doesn't know it, but he does.
Oh, he knows it. He just forgets sometimes.
He knows it.
You forget sometimes. You have to remind yourself periodically because you certainly know better than to not know.
Because he keeps going. He definitely,
the energy bunny, yeah.
He does. He just keeps going through all of it, and he's definitely blessed.
Yeah.
But I think they want to take a commercial break.
Okay, sure, yes. It'll save my voice to the
wanna
next
tell
half
them?
of the show. Right.
Tell him.
Oh, okay.
A true story, Call Me Zena, is the telling of Sally Bernard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came into the U.S. in 1979. A mother of 2 and a grandmother of 4, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the 3rd dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest into art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed a paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail how she is able to astral a project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life and direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today, authorhouse.com and amazon.com.
Thank you for joining me through this journey of self-discovery with the help of my spirit guides. I'm Sally Bernard, and you can find my book at authorhouse and amazon.com or visit my art on my clothing in my boutique at artbysallybernard.com. Now back to the show. Okay. Yes, please eat. It's fine. Welcome back, everybody. I forgot to tell you we were going on a break. I'm sorry. It's one of those days. It's the energy going crazy, but the music hasn't appeared again.
It's actually, the energy's not going crazy. I think the energy
Good
is,
energy.
it's what it feels like. It's just settling down to what this week needs to be. is what I feel. It's just reacclimating to who's in the studio for the week and where it needs to go. Because we had someone come in today, she goes, oh, it's calm and it's quiet in here today. Because we have quite a few people that are out. So I feel like the energy might have been here vibrationally, and now it's just going to settle
It's
in.
right where it's meant to be.
where
right
it's
now.
meant to
There
be
are
for
no
who's here.
Synchronicity works with them too. They know when and when not to. I mean, they can certainly help us. They won't ever, just to explain a little bit about that, they won't actually interfere in our lives because that's something we have free will. But they do help us. So if we're going along a track like that, something like this, they have the ability, which is really coming from us, the energy at that point, to bring the right person in at the right time, because they'll do something in a way that we wouldn't perhaps even know, do something that would bring us to a certain place. I would never have gone to the mall without Denise even mentioning it to me. But what I saw there, and it wasn't necessarily to sell my books, which most people would be sitting there bringing people in. I didn't want to bring anybody in case they thought I was nuts with my story. But they came anyway. I mean, I wasn't saying come to my booth. I wouldn't have done that there. If it had been a psychic something, I might have done that, but I couldn't. But people showed up.
Sally, there's so much going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
In the United States, we had some things happening over the weekend. Whether you're political or not, there are situations that are happening on both sides.
Right.
Middle East, a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
What's happening? Why is there this? It's not a high vibration. It's more of a fighting military sense everywhere.
Actually, Dawn, but there are, and I've realized this, and I was reading something, because whatever I pick up and read or hear, it's not coincidental, but it's so important for people today that all the empaths here that feel that, to spread this good high vibrational energy, because it's no secret this world is in trouble, absolutely in trouble, and I was going to bring it up, but I and obviously our prayers go to everybody. It doesn't matter what religion, what country. I mean, there are children around. For goodness sake, try to wake up people. Try, do our best to save the world, because it's going further and further down. That's what happens. But collectively, if we all start to, one person then tells another person, raise your energy, it will raise up. So it's not, some people say it's a hopeless situation. We're still here. It's not hopeless. Okay, but just try. Everybody listening, if you can put a smile on someone's face, whether they believe this or not, we don't have to go into the whole story about energy, but just make somebody smile for those few minutes, and then they'll pass that on. It's passing this message on, because I hate to say we're in trouble, because it's a positive, but in a way, just turn the news on and we know where we're at. So we need to change it. The fact that negativity can turn into something more, let's all do our best, the best that we know how we can do it. Each one knows what they can do to make this world a little better place. Let's all try together.
Yeah, because the vibration. There are things, words that I hear that just resonate with me, like the word terrible. That word to me has such a low vibrational sound. I've asked people around me not to use that word. And they say, why? I say, because when I hear that word, to me, the vibration is so low. It brings out such negativity. You can use another word if you feel that way, but that word to me.
It's better. I actually see that, because words have vibrational
Words have vibrational energy,
swear
right?
Words, when people swear, we all do it, but we do it when we're at a low vibrational energy. So we swear. If you've done something, I can't tell people not to swear, but it has a low vibration, so that's a very good example. Yes, it is. Words have vibration.
But I think I've just gotten more sensitive to things. The older I get, the more sensitive I am, even to a simple word.
It's this time. People that are empaths have got a lot more sensitivity today. I have much more than I had of feelings. I mean, I can't, even if there's an accident on the road, and I've been like this for a child, I physically sometimes can even shake. And I couldn't understand it, but we saw a couple of ambulances the other day. And I now know what I'm dealing with, so what I do is I offer my energy to whoever is in the ambulance. I don't have to know the person, but that works with anything, especially empaths. because when you're that way, you feel so much more. So it's coming to us rapidly now. It's because we need to wake other people up, as the expression goes. They need to know what we can do, what we ourselves can do. So you're not alone with that extra feeling of feeling things much stronger, Dawn. I just said to Steve a couple of days ago, I need to have research done on me. I absolutely said that. And he's sitting there. How much of this I don't know.
You're going to research your brain?
Yeah.
She's leaving her brain to
But
science.
that lady comes in.
You
and she says
should.
to me, I have research on my brain. And I said, I can't believe what you're just telling me. And she said, and it's called brain tapping. I didn't know that. There was a name for it.
Interesting. I think you have a question over here.
Hey Sally,
Hi.
I was wondering to know, during my times in like foster care, I had like lost pieces of myself. I feel like I was on the road to getting them back, but nowadays I just felt like, I don't know.
Please, you are such a wonderful, wonderful piece of, I'm going to say light. Do not let this hurt you. Do not. What has happened in your past, it's easy. I know it's so easy to say that, but whatever, it's now that matters. And go forward with it. Please, please, because it upsets me. It's making me tear up. You have so much, doesn't he? He has so much light around you. So much. Be yourself. The way you dress, the way you act, you're attracting people. And I'm going to bring something to your mind too. Didn't you pull in someone from outside one day when you were standing there?
Yeah.
Just know that's you doing that. That's proof to you, right? You've had many, many situations that you've pulled yourself out of, okay? Don't let whatever is going on in your mind, it's easy for me to say, and I'm the first person to tell you that, I know that. But in a way, I'm going to say to you, you know better, because you do know, okay? Does that help you in any way to make you sort of change a little bit back to how you've been?
A little bit.
Please, just even if you just hear my voice and it helps you, okay? Don't fall into the game. That helps you. I need to say that to you. Do not fall into this game. All right?
Alright,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome.
No questions from Ishmael? I don't know what I would have done this morning without this one.
You know that you're being guided. How in the world did I get your guide's name that wasn't even in physicality here, right?
Yeah.
So you know that. You know that you have so many helpers helping you. I can't just pull a name out of a guide especially. Maybe a relative, and I do that. This is your guide. This is special to you. He's helping you, plus a whole lot of other people. But I was the first name I got for you, okay? All right. Well, I'm going to let you be, but just know who you are, because you're special.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That he is.
He is. He's special. And that applies to a lot of us. You know, we all fall into this. It's the proof of how this works is to know how you felt and how you can be and what can happen if you can just change your mindset. Open up a little bit again to positivity. Because we attract where we are. We absolutely do. And if you're having, and we all have bad days, and that's okay too. But as long as you can pull yourself out of that, that's when you know better. If you don't, then you can't help it. You can go further and further, deeper into that, situation. But he knows.
I think there are moments. I can't even say there's a bad day. There are just moments of tests. And it's how do we rise to those tests and those occasions, especially on things that we can't control, like other people. Right? We cannot control other people's reactions to anything. As frustrated as we might get, we can't control it. So if we try not to control it, then...
Because the fact that you're even saying that, Dawn, we can only control ourselves. And if somebody it doesn't matter even what people tell you, you can't control, you can never change anyone. The person you can change is you. And you can change that as long as you know that you can do that, you can do that. And when you change you, other people will come into your life.
Yeah, because this morning I can walk around being frustrated, And then I look at this one who's laughing and this one who's like, yeah, let's do it. And she's writing an email and the other one's wrapped in a hoodie. And then G-Man, he's like, all right, we got this. He changed every wire in the studio. How can you be frustrated when everyone is pulling for you? You can't. You just have to rise to the occasion and say, all right, angels, we got this. And 2 minutes to airtime, we were ready to roll.
And not only that, when we were ready, what happened next door? The music was coming
Right.
through. So much so you didn't really want to go next door to tell them to love
I
you.
would have if
Yeah,
it was
I know you would have
necessary.
done,
But
but we didn't want to do that.
yeah,
We
that
wanted
wasn't the
that.
ideal.
It wasn't the best situation because maybe they needed that music for whatever they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
However, I jokingly said to Spirit, stop this.
Yeah.
We've gone 3/4 of the show now nearly. So
I
if it
know.
comes on, we had most of
So
the
you're
show.
pretty good on that.
Yeah. Anybody, it's not just me, Dawn, it's any one of us can do this. Not everybody does, and that's okay too because we're all learning. But I've learned that it can work. So I do these things.
There's so many things.
I have a question. I am not really knowledgeable on this whole world of like energies and vibrations and stuff. So what do you think is like the first steps into like stepping into that and becoming aware and mindful of that?
Listening to this show and being on the show. Okay? There you go. They told
Okay.
me that loud and clear. It's not coincidental, it's synchronicity.
Okay.
You're here for a reason, even what you just explained. You know a little bit more now than you
True.
knew before you sat down, right? So that's
Very true.
And again, just stress that too. It's little by little because if everything was thrown at us all at once, we wouldn't. You can only get so much. When I first started on this journey with Mike, you don't know my whole story, but my guide came into my life, and his work, and it was completely. There's no way he wasn't my guide when he told me my dream and everything. So I had trust in him. But he said one of his words after that was little by little. You can only take in what you're meant to, but if you continue on this journey, anybody out in listening, if you take in just a little bit, and not even saying every day, but if you can do something every day, the small, and you don't have to, but if you just take in a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, it suddenly becomes clearer, and you'll see your life is changing. We can manifest, and that's a broad word, you know, and we can manifest, people go, sure, but truly we can. It doesn't happen all at once because we don't need everything that we may be wanting to manifest, but we will get in our life what we need. It's all there. It's all there.
But you shared a story on Dawn's show about the story that resonated with you so much.
The
yeah.
fish, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
My fish.
but that's energy just with a different label.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I come from a very religious family, so we have that focus on like faith and trust and picking up those kinds of things. And my mom, in and of herself, is very spiritual, so less religious, but more in tune. She speaks, about like intuition and those gut feelings that you can't ignore. So I've been told to cling to those feelings and to be comfortable with those. But I guess it's maybe like the terms or like what the label really is. But I know that there are some things that I've even heard you talk about where I'm like, I didn't know that this was like a thing or that we could be aware of these different types of things. So I guess it's more like going deeper.
See, we're trained in a certain, depending on our upbringing, we're
Right.
definitely trained. I'm not going to say controlled because that's a very strong word.
Yeah.
But we are trained to be a certain way. But when your gut, your instincts, or you hear things, you begin to open up. And the more you open up, the more you'll see, and the more people that you're going to meet that can relate to where you are at that particular point in your life of
Yeah.
opening up. The main thing is to know that there is something different. And when you begin to see that, you'll see the people coming into your life that will suddenly, this can't be made up. This is happening already. That's how
Yeah.
it started with me. I never believed for many years in reincarnation. I'm drawing things from different lifetimes. That certainly opened me up to reincarnation. So mine was a little dramatic, but it's little by little, and you'll suddenly see all these things.
Yeah.
And things that you may have questions about, your questions will be answered.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
So I guess, how do I need to like articulate this correctly. I feel like lately I've been hyper focused on my internal development and like furthering myself like in all these different ways, and I feel like I just have so many like thoughts going through my head and things that are coming up and trying to process things from the past, and just like kind of like in this particular moment my head feels kind of jumbled with a lot of different things.
Okay.
So just like, what are you getting from me? Like, I guess
You
from
need-
spirit guides or feelings or energies or...
I'm focusing that you are getting a lot of things being thrown at you, thoughts, but you know what? Take each one, and the ones that seem more important to you, focus on the few that are important. Put the rest aside, because our mind will train us eventually. But right now, it's one specific thing, then another, a memory even. If it doesn't feel comfortable with you, that memory, bring in something that will make it change. So bring in, I think it's a lot of memories are coming up to you actually, but put them in compartments. It doesn't matter, which I was saying before, because we all have memories. None of us have had a fantastic life from early childhood. That's very rare because we're here to learn. But the bad times, put them away, because it's not going to serve it. And we all do this. But what matters is what's happening right now. And an easy way to explain that is we're very much into our now right now. So focus on what's important in your mind that seems like, well, that sounded good, or I remember that. And focus on that, not on the bad stuff.
Okay.
And then that will create your next now. And you'll find that more and more pleasant things are going to come into that through your own even imagination, if that makes sense. I mean, that's how they're telling me to explain it. Does that make sense?
I can get that. And I have
Okay.
a change kind of coming up, so are you getting any, like...
I think it's telling me my show is over. Yeah, but you know what? It was quiet for a long time. The change, yeah, but change is important.
It's
change.
something, it's a bigger, how do I put this? It's something that I was planning on facing it maybe like a couple years down the road. It's corporate, which I wasn't expecting to get into right now. And like they painted it to me like, oh, like very financially lucrative, like, and part of me gets excited and it's like, oh, maybe I can get out of my mom's apartment, like I can like start to progress finally financially, and I don't want to go into it and be disappointed.
Whatever you feel, even if it was something you were planning a few years from now, because really there is no time. So if it's coming into your life right now, and the most important word is comfortable with it. If you feel comfortable, go with your gut. And if it's something that you may have thought might have happened a few years from now, but it's coming into this aspect of your life now, there's a reason for that happening. That sometimes things take longer than we expect. But the timing, if we go with our gut, the timing is usually always right, because we have guides to help us with that too. So even if you started doing something that maybe you had planned a few months or years from now, and you start it and you feel that it's not the right timing, it's still up to you. Take a step back, absolutely. But it's worth giving a shot at something if it's coming right in this particular part of your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be those few years ahead, but it can work both ways. So what you need to do is, if you see it, give it a shot. Doesn't feel comfortable, okay, what have you got, whatever it is. But go with caution though too, because if you go, oh, it's all happening, it's happening, still may not be your initial reason for thinking a few years from now could also be correct. I don't know, it depends on the individual. But give it always, even a few years from now, give it thought.
Very well, like be preparing you too.
Yeah.
Perfect, yeah.
Like this opportunity could just be preparing you for your next actual big opportunity that's like really made for you.
Yeah.
Or just teaching you a lesson. This could be also teaching you like maybe this isn't the right specific role that you want to get into, or maybe it is, and you're learning, you're going to grow into that. You know what I mean? So yes, that's
and
mine.
you're preparing it. That's also, whatever it is, it'll bring you more into this now to prepare what you might be doing 2-3 years down the road.
Exactly.
But the thought is there, and it could start years before it actually happens, whatever it is.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Sally, I want to ask you, what do you feel your greater calling is? Because you do readings and you do your show and you've got beautiful clothes. But overall, at this next
One
stage
is,
in
which
life,
I actually mentioned this at the show, at the mall the other day. So many people were asking me about readings, and I haven't really I haven't really said this is what I do. And I mean, I can do them here. So I've always thought, well, I don't want to bring in, a lot of people, especially. But here, I do believe that I'm going to attract the people that are meant to see me. And I feel like I want to focus more similar to the topics that we talk about here, that they can ask questions. So I have the platform here for people to go in to see what I'm doing, to come in that might feel that they want a reading with me because they know what I'm about. So that's the first thing, that my mind has changed a little bit. I feel that I can help people that way. I feel that the energy, definitely feel that I need to do that. And my art on clothing, it's fun. You guys are having fun doing that.
Oh, yeah.
So my art on clothing, I want to show people what's possible. And of course my book, which all leads into the same thing, to read my book and the second one so you know where I'm coming from when you see my art and my clothing. So I think each one of these things that I've chosen to do, and I'm glad you asked me that because I'm seeing it better, are all falling in together. It's all part and parcel of the same thing. Because on my table, I learned a lot the other day. I put my art on clothing in the back. I had my books out there, and I do readings. And I said, this is all part of my story anyway. So it all tied. And the studio, I had you right there, Brooklyn TV Cafe Studio. It was stuck on the tablecloths, and I had your cards. And the people that came by that knew you guys. So it's all part of the same thing. And we all it's not me, it's everybody.
but I know you worked with Aldo for 18 years, and it's been, another 4 years since he's been gone.
Yes.
Is there an overall message that he imparted on you that you are now sharing with people?
I think he knew what I was able to do. I mean, even after 18 years, I didn't know how much I could do without him. He's never left me, so he's helping me somewhere else. But as I've always said, he used to say to me, be my mouthpiece. He said that I would overtake him. He was just saying that to give me the motivation, because this man came in knowing everything, really, at a year old. But yes, I want to teach. I want people to, to listen to me. And if I can just help however many people to show them this is important. It's important for me at my age to pass this message on, as Aldo, I'm going to cry, passed his message on to me. So whoever I can talk to about what's happened, and I have the audience to hear my words, because you guys are going to be here a lot longer than I'm going to be here, although I will come back and maybe I'll be one of your children. I don't know.
But next time we find a cat, right? Oh, she came back as a cat.
No, I'll come back as a child I'm going to pick somebody here now, okay? So we do come back.
Well,
if that's not validation.
No.
They have spoken.
Spoken. But it's a good thing. It's okay.
It didn't break,
It didn't break.
It's
Nothing
fine.
broke.
Okay.
They got my total attention. Okay, the music stopped. So how could that be a bad thing?
wanted the attention right then and there at
Yep.
All right,
And
so
people-
Sally, your message is
Perfect.
you're coming
Like when
back. She's
I'm
going to
coming
haunt you
back.
now, Bria.
I hate to say that, maybe someone's child. That is strange. I mean, even
That's never happened. I've never seen a piece of art fall during a show.
no. Well, the sirens went off one time when there was a fire outside in the
Really?
middle of this show
That
too.
is
It
true.
So the music started and it was very low, but I think it was to get our attention. They're here. They stopped the music.
What is
again.
the message? The message for unity, for peace, for a different frequency, for
Different
people
frequency.
to
Higher
a
frequency.
higher frequency.
Yeah, and blessings
higher.
go out, even just for the minutes that you might be watching this show. And this is more serious because it is serious. It's horrible. To just give the prayer. Prayer is very good. prayer works because it's a combination of a lot of energies going out for a good cause. Pray, however you want to do it. Talk the words. I do believe very much in prayer, actually, to say this is what, please, let's change the vibrational energy in this world. Our world is it's very important, but it's also very, there's not a whole lot protecting our earth if you think about it. So we don't want bad vibrations here. So when you listen to this show now or at the end, because I know it's out in the record, say a little prayer. I mean, I could do it, but that's okay. We can do it on our own. That there will be world peace, because it doesn't matter what nation, I'm going to say what religion, children, everybody, it's wrong. It's really wrong. Say a prayer for world peace.
It's true.
Yeah, and it will lift the vibrational energy. Maybe that's what they're telling me to say, because
Lift the
that
energy.
was pretty scary in a way. The bang,
But it's important, and everyone gets so in tune with the next job and your next career move and the next paycheck, and all of those things are valid. But somehow I feel like there's this overall sense of a negative vibration that's pulling people down this way.
It's a collective energy, Dawn. I'm learning more about that.
So we need to change
but
that
it can
in
work
here.
both ways. That collective energy can put out all this darkness. They say spread light. There's a reason for people to say we're light workers. You heard, everybody may have, not everybody, but it's a well-known expression. We are a pillar of light. And if we can spread that light, it can control the dark energy. Again, you need that balance, but it's gone a little overboard here.
Sure.
So we need to just send life to Gaia, Mother Earth, to the people that are on the earth. We're all on this earth at this time, which happens to be a very important time too. That's another show. But there is a shift that's going on now with Earth, with the people on it. And that shift is so important for our world, for our Earth, for Mother Gaia, however you want to explain it. So we're going through that right now, and it's up to us how it ends, I shouldn't say ends, but how we change the world. Yeah, change it. Which is, there has to be an end and a new beginning, because we can't continue this way.
Like Noah's Ark, I just feel like we got to do something. We
Gotta
have
do.
to change.
And that's why a lot is erupting. It's like even the volcano erupted a little while ago, right? So it's the same thing that's happening. There's a lot of chaos going on, but that causes change. And I think to end, I don't know how much longer we've got, but that it comes out with, as I said it, that we need the change. It can't suddenly just change. We need this chaos actually to realize exactly and be grateful for what we really do have.
True.
Because we're inclined to forget that. We're inclined to forget that there are little babies being born that aren't even having the opportunity to live because they're getting killed in a war. I mean, this is ridiculous. So if we can just put those positive energies out through the power of prayer, I feel that's very important for me to say right now. And I never bring that up usually, but it is. And it doesn't matter who it's for whoever, and we all need it, but especially for the ones that are really going through it. And whatever side it is, forget all these sides or religions or where we're born. We have to be different. That's ridiculous. If you really stop to think about it, we're all human beings here. So then I think that's a good way to maybe say, I'll see you guys next week on a positive vibrational energy. Okay, thank you for listening to my show. Tune in again next week. My book is available on Amazon, Call Me Zena, and my art is now available on my website, Art by Sally Bernard, BARNARD.com, sallybernard.com. And there's a lot of, it actually takes you to the boutique where you see my clothing. So you guys can be my walking example by buying my clothes and telling other people where it came from. Thank you. Tune in next week. You have been watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Bernard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you can always seek me out for resources by visiting artbysallybernard.com. Join us next week, Mondays at 2:30. Have a blessed day.